Okay, what we're going to do tonight is look at a distribution I've never actually used before, but I've read a lot about. So this is Fedora 32 Silverblue. So we're going to install it onto disk, and then we're just going to have a little look around. I've got nothing installed on this computer at the moment, so we can give it a couple of disks and then pull together and make a nice little volume. So it's not like your traditional distribution Fedora 32 Silverblue. It's a immutable distribution that sort of relies heavily on Flatpaks to distribute packages. But we'll get all into that once we're installed, and we'll have a look around. So I think it uses the standard Fedora installer. We'll soon find out. Anaconda. And we should be loading up. Why is it loaded up on the OBS screen? Okay, I'm going to have to sort of turn my neck while we sort this out. Right, English, United Kingdom, that is already correct. So let's go to next. English UK, Europe, London, that's all good. Right, let's go onto our disks and see how we're going to do things. So what we're going to do is go for this Samsung Evo 860, and we're also going to grab this SanDisk as well. I'm going to let it do its stuff. It says not to go too crazy with your partitions and let it do the sort of default layout of the disks you select, because there's a few issues there I've read in the manual before we installed. Right, now let's go to done. Okay, cool. So I think you add your user accounts and stuff once you sort of reboot. So we're going to go to next. I'm going to let that install. I'm going to pause the video here, and then when we come back, we'll be booting off disk. Okay, we've now booted off disk, and we can have a look around. So what I'm going to do first is pop open their sort of user guide for Fedora Silverblue, because there'll be a few things done differently that we're going to need to know about. So let's go to Fedora Silverblue manual. There we go. Right, so the introduction. Fedora Silverblue is an immutable desktop operating system. It aims to be extremely stable and reliable. It also aims to be an excellent platform for developers and for those using container-focused workflows. So what we're going to do is just jump straight onto the Getting Started page. Before that, actually, I'll show you what I mentioned in the installation. So Silverblue does not provide a fully functional experience for dual booting or manual partitioning, which is why we ended up going just for the sort of automatic setup. So let's go for getting started. I don't know if there's too much we need to look at here. Here we go. So getting started. Silverblue is designed to be easy and straightforward to use, and specialist knowledge should generally not be required. So I think the whole idea of Silverblue, like, because they've sort of got an eye for the future, and I've read a few articles and they all sort of say that, you know, this is the future, if you like. So it aims to sort of be the same for whoever's using it, without too many customizations done at the level. Everything that you might want to do at a base level, you use rpm-ostree, or we'll have a look anyway. So like you can see, most of the packages you're going to be interacting with will be Flatpaks. So what we're going to want to do is set up the FlatHub repository first things first. So we're going to go ahead and install the FlatHub repository. So they've got a link to it here. I should imagine they would. Here we go. I'll tell you what, let's open that in a new tab. There we go. So we're just going to go over to Quick Setup, go to Fedora, and then we're going to go to copy and paste this. Right, so it's updating there, so I can see we're using automatic updates. We'll have a look at that as well in a moment. So let's copy that. No, we don't have a keyboard shortcut for the terminal yet, so we'll have to add one of those as well in the keyboard shortcuts. Type in our password. Cool, we won't be able to actually see that in the GNOME software store until we do a reboot though, but when we do a reboot we're going to have to for the update. So if we go on to, so one thing I do know, so if we go to Let's Go Shopping, you get a restart and update. So what that will do is apply the updates and sort of rebuild the image, I do believe, and then you can boot into that one. So what we're going to do, it will enable that for now, and we're going to do the restart and update now, and then hopefully we won't have to do too many more restarts. I already know we'll have to do one or two though for the rpm-ostree, so we're going to go ahead and go restart. And I'll tell you what, first things first, if we go onto the update preferences here you can see it's got automatic updates enabled by default and automatic update notifications, which is what we got here. So what we're going to do is just leave it like that, to be honest. We just let it do its business. So we're going to go to restart and update, and that should just restart. And as you can see, before it restarts, we're on GNOME 3.36.1, Fedora version 32.16, 32.16. Right, let's go for a restart, and then that will apply the updates. So I'm going to pause the video here, and then we'll be back in the updated system. Okay, we're just logging in, and here we are. So let's go into About and just check what version of the sort of system we're on now. So it's using version 32.202.005.220, bit of a mouthful. And we are now on GNOME version 3.36.2, so it was on 0.1 just before that. Let's pop open Firefox once more and just keep the manual open while we're going, so we don't need this page open anymore. And we'll install some Flatpaks in a moment as well. Okay, so we've done the Flatpak stuff. Package layering. Package layering works by modifying your Silverblue installation. As the name implies, it works by extending the packages from which Silverblue is composed. Good examples of this would be Fish, Way and libvirt. Most, but not all, RPM packages provided by Fedora can be installed on Silverblue using this method. Okay, so hold on a moment. Eventually this limitation may be lifted, but okay. This preserves rollback and transactional model, but means that the system must be rebooted after a package has been layered. So what's going to happen here is we're going to install some packages using this command, rpm-ostree install, and we're just going to pretend that says like DNF and then install and then whatever package we want, because as it says here, most but not all RPM packages provided by Fedora can be installed in this method. So if we open up a terminal, we didn't make a terminal shortcut, did we? Let's do that now quickly. So let's just scroll all the way down and find that little plus button. GNOME terminal. Cool, right, that will work now with Control-Alt-T. So there's a few things that I can already think off the top of my head that we're going to want. So one of them is going to be evolution. I think there is a Flatpak for evolution, but I don't think it works very well with EWS. And I will use EWS for my sort of office accounts to get tasks and everything else working. Yeah, see, there's already people complaining about EUS stuff not working too well with the Flatpak version of Evolution. So we are going to install Evolution using this command as well as a few other packages. So we're going to go Evolution, EWS, skit tmux. What else might I want? Arc theme, Mocha icon theme. Let's get htop and let's get GNOME tweak tool as well. Right, so what that's going to do is we'll hit enter, and then that should get the packages ready and layer them, and then once we reboot it will go into a new image, I suppose, and then those packages will be there ready for us to use. So we're going to go ahead and hit enter, and then hopefully we won't have to do any more reboots after that. Okay, so while it's doing that, let's go into the store, but keep an eye on this as well. So let's just zoom in a bit. There we go, so it's downloading from Fedora, and that's 13 packages. It's going to get a total of 76.1 megabytes. It seems to have found all of those packages that we've gone for, so that's good. Okay, so FlatHub repository should now be in the GNOME software, so we should be able to search for Kdenlive and not get anything. That's a bit annoying. What's happened there then? I wonder why that is. Let's have a look. So now it's importing the packages, checking out packages, running post scripts, post transcripts. Okay, that's why. Perhaps it's because we're doing the rpm-ostree in here that it's having a bit of an issue with this. So let's close that and let that do that, and then we'll get to the Flatpak stuff after a reboot. Let's jump back into the manual. So let's see what else you can do with it. So you can also replace packages. So in some scenarios you may want to test out a new version of Podman or kernel or other packages that live on the host. The rpm-ostree override command can be used to replace a package with a different version. That's pretty cool. Currently you must download the RPM package locally and then run rpm-ostree override replace and then path to the package. Okay, so you have to download the RPMs and do it like that. That's fairly straightforward. Right, let's run an update. I'm going to pause the video and then we'll come back, and hopefully all them packages now that we've just done rpm-ostree install will be there. Okay, so we're all rebooted, and now we're going to see if those applications that we installed with rpm-ostree are there. Yes, so there's evolution, there is htop, gnome tweaks, is it in utilities? There we go, gnome tweaks is in utilities. So before we start taking a look at that, I want to now add my Microsoft account in the online accounts to get notes, tasks, calendar and everything to work with this evolution package. So I'm just going to go into online accounts. I'll blur this out, I don't want no randoms emailing me. And as you can see there, Microsoft Exchange. Nearly done. Cool. Right, we'll leave that like that. Now all of my emails and tasks and calendars and appointments will all sync properly using the Evolution EWS package. So what I want to also do is open Tweak Tool now. And let's just get some, there we go, there's my reminders coming through now. Go away. Okay, let's go into Windows title bars, because I'm quite good with the keyboard shortcuts, but I quite like having minimize and maximize as well as that to have it there. Right, we're going to close this for, no we're not, we installed Arc theme didn't we as well. Let's make sure that's there. Here it is. So we're going to use Arc dark theme, and we did get Mocha icons, didn't we? And now we have Mocha icons. Okay, brilliant. So now let's go back into Firefox. So the rpm-ostree sort of install procedure seems to work pretty well, to be honest. I want to grab the Arc icon theme as well. I know we have Mocha, but they work better together, so we're going to go for Arc icons. I know that Kdenlive, the Flatpak, can be a bit of a nightmare with sort of custom icons though, so I'm just going to manually set it to Arc icons and be a bit lazy. So let's get Arc icons. So we're going to download that one. I'm just going to open it, I don't need to save it. I also want to check how it's laid out our disks and do some sort of read benchmarks to see how fast they are. Right, let's open that. And we're going to extract that into home, although it'll be mounted at like var home or something like that. Let's have a look. So if we go to extract, home, we're going to have to make a folder. And we'll chuck it in there. Cool. So if we used to go onto our, so you can see the Mocha icons are all there, but there will be, did we install Kdenlive? No, we didn't, did we? We haven't done our Flatpaks yet. Okay, before we go too crazy, let's install some Flatpaks. I'm just going to go back into gnome tweaks though, and change my icons to Arc. There we go. Okay, so let's grab some Flatpaks now. So the FlatHub repository should actually be there, and we should be able to get Kdenlive. So let's go to gnome software. And hopefully everything that we need, we can now fall back onto the onto the Flatpak versions of things. So Steam as well will get Kdenlive. There we go. And as it's a Flatpak, it will be pretty much the latest version, 20.04.1. That's all good. And then we're going to get GIMP. So I think for the most part the Flatpaks will follow the theming, but I don't think Kdenlive will. But we'll check that out. And we're going to get Steam, and we might as well also grab Chromium. Is there a Flatpak? I don't know if there is a Flatpak for Chromium. Let's have a look. I know there's a Snap. No, there's not a Flatpak for that. Okay, we might later on at some point also add Chromium. I'm not going to do it in this video though, because I think we're having enough reboots already, to be honest with you. Let's see what htop is saying at the moment. So we're using 1.8 gig. We have, so it's given us a 15 gig swap, so hopefully Hibernate will work. Let's have a look at how that's done our disks. Let's go into gnome disks. And here are our devices that it's made. So we've got, so let's put the biggest one on home. That's fine, that's good. And that will also be the fastest one though, I do believe. Let's go to benchmark partition and start a benchmark. Okay, I don't need to let it run the whole way. So we're getting about 528 megabytes average read there. And let's go on to the root and see what the root gives us. Let's go to benchmark partition. Okay, so let's put the slightly slower one on root. Oh, that's not too bad. Let's do that again. It might be because we've got some things running. Yeah, so that's not too bad at all. Okay, cool. I don't mind the way it set that up there, and there's our swap device as well. Cool. Is that installed all those packages? No, so that's still going. Let's leave that minimized and let's jump back into their manual. So another thing I want to take a look at, I will have a look at Toolbox in a minute actually. Let's have a look at updates, upgrades and rollbacks. So OS updates and Silverblue are fully integrated into the desktop. You'll be automatically notified when an update is available, like we were earlier. The standard behaviour is to automatically download the update, but this can be changed. Once an update is ready, it's just a matter of rebooting. There's a lot of rebooting in this one, I can already tell. To start using the new version. There is no waiting for the update to be installed during this reboot. So it does it in the background, and then when you reboot, it will take effect after that. If you'd prefer, it's also possible to update using the command rpm-ostree upgrade. Okay, cool. This will check for new updates and download and install them if they are available. Alternatively, you can check for available updates without downloading them, going upgrade --check. Okay. Right, let's have a look now. I do believe we got some notifications saying those programs have been installed. So let's clear our notifications now. There we go. As I said, Steam and GIMP have followed the correct icon theme, but Kdenlive hasn't. And that's just going to wind me up. So we're going to have to do something about that. So let's just open up Steam and let Steam get its update. And then let's go into... we didn't grab Vim. We should have grabbed Vim as well, shouldn't... what a silly move. Okay, I'm going to get Vim as well, and then we'll sort the icons out because it will just make life a bit easier. So while that's doing that, let's get the command ready. So it was at rpm-ostree install Vim. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of rebooting and stuff. Hopefully that will be the very last reboot I have to do in this video. Right, so toolboxes. So toolboxes are like containers from what I've managed to read. So let's have a look. Using toolbox containers to install development tools offers a number of advantages. It keeps the host OS clean and stable and helps to avoid the clutter that can happen after installing lots of development tools and packages. Containers are a safe space to experiment, so if things go wrong, it's easy to throw a toolbox away and start again. That's very cool. Right, okay, we don't need to install it because Fedora 30 Plus will have it already installed, and we're on version 32. So, what's the actual command? Okay, once Toolbox is installed, there's two simple commands required to get it started. Toolbox create, Toolbox enter. Let's have a look. Okay, so an image is required for the Toolbox container, download registry. I do believe you can also download different versions of images for Fedora, like older versions. I do believe that's correct, don't quote me on that though. So we're just going to go for Y, which is yes, and that's going to download 500 megabytes. Okay. So let's go into shortcuts very quickly and just sort out my keyboard shortcuts for workspaces. And then I just want to move window one workspace up and one workspace down. Perfect. Right, I do believe that command is finished, and now we can do toolbox enter. Oh, it tells us there as well, look. And then inside these toolboxes will be sort of a full command line interface, so you'll have the access to DNF, I do believe. Sudo DNF, let's say htop. There we go, so that's going to download htop in that container. And as that's a container, we should be able to run this rpm install Vim as well. So let's do that at the same time. Yeah, I don't know why Kdenlive icon doesn't follow the theme. Everyone else has managed to do it. Little things like that bug me. I like everything to have like a uniformed look. Right, so that's installing Vim in this one, and we are installing htop inside a container on this one just to see how it all works. Okay, so the total download size 112k, installed size 246. Let's go for Y. And there we go, so that's all working as it should. So let's close that now, and can we exit this toolbox with exit? Yes, we can. So what are some other commands here? Let's have a look. Toolbox run runs a command in a toolbox without entering it. Oh, that's pretty cool. Toolbox lists, let's list what toolboxes we've got. We should only have the one. Let's just make this a bit bigger. There we go. Right, so there's the toolbox we created about a minute ago. So I don't want that toolbox anymore, so how might we delete it? Toolbox rm -- force. Let's see if we can just remove it without using the force. So toolbox rm, and I guess it's this container ID here. Oh, we've written tool and not toolbox. Failed to remove container. Let's try it with the force command. There we go. So if we go to toolbox list now, bang, that's pretty cool. I like that. There's probably a lot that we can do with that. So let's close that and let's see if that one's installed. Right, last reboot, because I'm not going to install any more packages using rpm-ostree. So let's go for the last reboot of the video. I shall pause the video here and we'll be back, and then we'll have a little final look around, set it up for desktop use, get some extensions and things like that, because I'm going to do a full review on this one because it is just quite different from the typical distro that we use, so it'll be quite interesting, I think. Okay, we're just logging in now. Brilliant. Right, I'm just going to open up Firefox once more just to keep that open, and we're going to start a new session now. We don't need the old session. So before I do anything, I just want to sort that Kdenlive icon out. Yeah, because that will just bug me. While we're here as well, let's have a look. It doesn't come installed with too much out of the box, so we installed Evolution and GIMP and Steam, but everything else is basically what it comes installed with. Right, so what we're going to want to do is open up Nautilus. Let's make these icons smaller as well, it's far too big. Okay, so let's go into other locations, computer. I don't remember where they actually keep the Flatpak .desktop files, so we'll have to do a little search for it. Lib Flatpak app, and we're going to want the Kdenlive one, and I'm just going to search .desktop inside of this file directory. Okay, so there's two .desktops here, so we're going to just change it in both of them. So what I'm also going to do is open in a new window. I'm going to go to the hidden folders, and I'm just going to grab it from here because I'm lazy. Apps 48x times 2x, and we're going to want Kdenlive. Cool, right, so what we want to do is just go to properties here, and then I can just copy that over for the directory path for the icon, and then we're going to open file location or item location, open in terminal. So we installed Vim, didn't we? So we're going to do sudo vim. Oh, I'll tell you what. There we go. Sudo vim, and then we're just going to open this file in Vim, and just manually set the position of the icon so we can have the icons fit the theme that we're using. There it is, icon there. Let's just make that a bit bigger. There you go, so there's the icon path. So what we're going to do is just copy this. Again, there's better ways of doing this, but I'm just doing it like this because it saves me time. And I don't tend to change my icons. Once I'm on arc icons, I'll stay on arc icons. / Kdenlive.png. Kdenlive.png. Right, we're going to write and quit that one, and then we're going to do the same thing for the other file that it's found, which is this one here. So we're going to open that and do the same process. And let's find the icon line again. Have we passed it? There it is. Oh no, we need to copy the path again. Right, and quit. Right, I'm not sure if it's going to change it straight away. No, we'll do a log in and log out, and hopefully all of our icons will look correct, basically. So we're going to log out. Log back in. This is just a personal preference thing as well. I'm very funny about my icons. There we go. So the Caden Live is now using the same icon as the rest of our theming. Okay, cool. That is looking very nice. Right, now what we're going to do is get some extensions for the GNOME shell. I don't think we'll need to install Chrome GNOME shell. It should already be installed. So we're just going to go straight to the GNOME extensions website. I know you can install extensions from the software store, but I'd rather just use it in here. But let's see if it does work in the store. Okay, it's not finding it in the store. So what we're going to do is just go to GNOME Shell Extensions website, install the browser extension, add, let's refresh. Perfect, so we're going to get user themes, and we're going to get caffeine. Yep. Dash to dock, and we're also going to get the clipboard indicator. I like having a clipboard. And last but not least, clipboard. I might also get GS Connect, though I don't really tend to use sort of KDE Connect stuff these days, because everything's got like a desktop app for the chat services that I use nowadays, so I don't tend to use it. In fact, yeah, I'm not going to bother with GS Connect. Cool. Now what I'm going to do is go into tweaks, sort the position and size of this extension out. So I'm going to have it on the bottom. Behaviours, that's all well and good. Okay, so appearance, we're going to shrink the dash and then we're going to make it smaller even still. 24 should do the trick. And let's go back into appearance and we're going to make it dynamic, and it should be on a Windows dodge. There we go, so it'll hide when we're doing a full screen application. And that, for the most part, is how I'm going to use it while I do the review of this distribution. So let's just change our background as well. Let's go for let's go for this thing here. No, I don't like it. Right, I'm not going to worry too much about this. Okay, so first impressions of Fedora 32 Silverblue is that it's an interesting idea. I like the fact that sort of once you've got your packages installed using rpm-ostree, it's just a simple fact of just installing your Flatpaks. Once you've got the FlatHub repository as well enabled in the software store here, and then nothing should really change on like the base level. It shouldn't be too dissimilar from anyone else using this, apart from sort of the rpm-ostree installs that I have done, and also it will differ in what Flatpak packages we have installed. But for the most part, it should be quite strong, quite reliable, and it shouldn't change too much. So what we're going to do is we'll do a review. Probably going to use it for a few days, and then I'll come back and do a review, and there'll also be a little written review on the website at tylerstech.me. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed, I'll tell you what, before we do that, let's do a reboot and see how much RAM this is using now that we've got it set up for how I want to use it. Okay, and we're back. We're going to do one little check on HTOP. So we're using 900 megabytes RAM. That's not too bad considering. So Fedora 32 Silverblue, is it the future of desktop computing? I think it remains to be seen. But thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.